What's good, YouTube? It's Gordon FX with a new video. Okay guys, so in this video I'm gonna do a little bit something different. I'm gonna start from my top-down analysis to completely finding me a setup. Right now it's 8:36 a.m. The market opened about 6 minutes ago. So what do I do every morning before I take a trade? I first check if there's any major news going on, and apparently there's nothing really special to be focusing on today. So that clears everything out of the way, and then I first start from my higher time frame, mostly the 4 hour, sometimes the 1 hour or 4 hour, but I like starting from the 4 hour just to see how things are going. But as you can see, we have this big red candle and it looks like we're about to get a pull back to the downside. So not really seeing much but downside on the 4 hour time frame. So let me just go ahead and rotate. See, the same thing for YM is doing the complete opposite, as well as ES compared to Nasdaq, which is not a good thing. So you just have to keep that in mind. We might maybe start bouncing back up, we don't know, but the 4 hour is not really giving us much story. So, and on 1 hour I do see we are kind of bouncing up from this level right here. So this is definitely somewhere I want to keep my eye on, because we've been wicking here multiple times. So if we do tend to break this low, we could possibly be heading lower to the downside. So, and then from there I just hop on the 5 minutes and look for my regular supply and demand setups. But I don't tend to like mark all my higher time frame support and resistance, supply and demand zones, basically because I could just see it. But for those that love to leave it on the chart, you can go ahead and do that. But I don't tend to mark my zones in the higher time frame, honestly, because I'm just so used to like reading it and knowing where things are. But as for right now, yes, I would say I would be leaning towards the sell side, if only we could keep getting bearish momentum to the downside, because this is not a really good reaction if we want to see more downside coming. And as far as the VWAPs, we're kind of in the VWAP is in a good spot, so that's a good sign. But at this moment, everything is still undecided, but I definitely do see more downside coming. The only problem might be, will we be able to break down and head to the lower side after we break the support? So that's really much I'm seeing right now. Besides that, I don't really see anything much going on. YM just straight up looks choppy, so I might avoid that today. ES is not moving in the same direction as the Nasdaq, which doesn't make any sense right now. But again, there's also one right here. We're bouncing off of this level, so if we could break this low, we could possibly be heading to the downside. But the way ES is looking right now, it doesn't look so promising. So who knows, maybe Nasdaq could possibly bounce off of this low and then start tracing back up, or ES could possibly turn around, but we don't know so far, so we just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But that's all I'm seeing, the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Nothing really much. When it comes to ES, I would definitely say buys are the right thing to be doing, but on the Nasdaq it gives the complete opposite. It's giving more of a sell. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I might be trading supply and demand or the opening range. It really doesn't matter. As long as I just get a good direction of the market, then we should be good from there. So we'll just have to see. We still have a little gap that needs to be filled down there, so that might be a good sign. But again, this level is a really strong level, and we are bouncing off of it right now. So this is definitely a good spot to keep an eye on. But if we can break this level or show a big bearish momentum candle, assuming this candle is able to close inside this range or close to the bottom of the support, then we could possibly be seeing more downside. So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that. And yeah, I might just get back to you guys when I do see a setup or if I'm about to take any trade. Okay guys, so I kind of do really like the sales on Nasdaq, like I said, and noticing on the 15 minutes we kind of like also broke the structure and we're heading more to the downside, so we could potentially start seeing more sales. So from here, if anything, I might kind of wait for some type of retracement to the upside, and then possibly looking for some more continuation to the downside based on the 15 minutes. But on the 5 minutes, again, I also have my orb opening range formed, currently about to be over in less than 2 minutes, but this is going to be the opening range is high and the opening range is low. And I kind of like how we're breaking structure to the downside. As you can see, we broke this low too, so definitely the sales are kind of looking really promising. Another thing I like about this setup is that we had this kind of a supply setup over here, which then respected and then it dropped. So hopefully we can continue to see more downsides, and I might be considering to get something like this, and then aiming for a 1 to 1.5. Something like this is what I'll be looking for if I do get a sell. But that's right now. I'm still gonna wait because we'll start chopping around, but I definitely do see us taking a sale today, so we'll just have to wait. Okay guys,
Order filled.
just like that I'm gonna go ahead and take my sell.
Order filled.
Damn. Just like that, I'm gonna go ahead and take my sales position on Nasdaq. Like I said, I really do like the shorts coming in, and they're coming in aggressive too as well. So I'm hoping we could see some more downside coming in from now, because I really like the setup. Looks pretty clean to me. We're respecting a bunch of levels. We're near the opening range is low too, so that's a good sign. And let's just see how this plays out. Some crazy sales coming in hard. Love to see it. Love to see these sellers. Like I said, back to the 1 hour time frame again. You see, as we did break this level, so we could potentially see more downside coming in from here. And yeah, it's looking really good so far. And we also broke the 15 minutes structure, which is also a good thing. And like I said, we also had a 5 minutes. Just get this off. We have a 5 minute supply that we kind of respected instantly, so that's also a really good sign to see more downside coming. And the moral of the story, it's a 1 hour support and resistance breakout to the downside. So if you're going with the higher time frame, obviously the lower time frame is gonna be an easy win. So that's a good push. Not a great pullback from here so far, but it's looking good. It's looking promising. That's all we like.
Order
There we
filled.
go. Just like that, full take profit hit, guys. Easy setup, easy setup. Now let's go ahead and do a quick review of the setup again and why I took it and why I liked it. Okay guys, so as you can see, we just had a simple winner over here. Now let's start from the higher time frame again. Like I said earlier, why I loved this setup is because the 4 hour obviously didn't give us really much of a signal or where the market was actually heading towards, but we did start from a very big bearish candle heading towards the downside. So I was assuming we would be obviously pushing to the downside, possibly to back to these lows at least, or at least to the previous resistance, which is now acting as a support level. So on the 4 hour, that's all I was seeing. And then we hopped on the 1 hour. Obviously on the 1 hour, what I did like on the 1 hour is mainly this level right here, right? So it's acting as a support level, and as we can see, we were coming down straight into it. And then sometimes, I want to say sometimes, but majority of the times, when there's a support level down here and we have a big bearish candle heading in towards the support level, it's mostly gonna get disrespected for sure, especially when the VWAP is in the direction of it. And as you can see over here, we also do have an untapped gap as well, which also kind of gave me more confidence that yes, we might be heading lower to the downside. Just based off on the 1 hour, I could just tell with the gap, with the support level that we're heading in aggressively into, and with the VWAP being above us, I could clearly see that okay, maybe we could be seeing some downsides. And then I scaled down to my 5 minutes, and then that's where I look for my entry setup. It could be a support and resistance breakout to the downside. It could be supply and demand, like over here. It could be the opening range breakout. In this case scenario, I would say as an opening range breakout to the downside, but I entered way earlier before the break of the opening range low. Sometimes I will take this sell too as well from this supply, like around right here. But in this case scenario, I kind of missed it, I think. So we ended up taking our sell position in somewhere around right here in the middle, which is totally fine. Aiming for about 1 to 1.5 risk to reward, which is my average risk to reward I always go for. So in this case scenario, and on the 15 minutes, we also had this major support level, which again, we didn't really break it at this point now that we had a crazy pullback, which kind of doesn't make any sense. But we also started to break the 15-minute support to the downside, so that also gave me more confidence to hop in and sell in this trade. And then yeah, that was pretty much everything about this trade, honestly, if I was to say, because there's not really nothing behind the scenes. Higher time frame, trading the direction of the higher time frame, that's the most number one important thing I'll definitely say. And then just make sure everything lines up on the 1 hour. If you're looking for sales on the 4 hour, just make sure the 1 hour and the 15 minutes are all like correlated with the higher time frame. That's your best bet to always win a trade. So in this case, we had the 4 and 1 hour in the same direction, so that was a really good sign. And with the 1 hour having a support that was about to be broken, as well as the gap we had on the 1 hour was also very good sign to hop on the sales. So that was pretty much it. And then the 5 minutes, obviously bread and butter, looking for some type of sale, so we were looking for a supply sale. We had one right here, obviously missed it, ended up popping in later, and then it became a winner. That was pretty much everything about this trade. Nothing really much, it was pretty clean and simple. But again, it's really simple. Trading the direction of the higher time frame, right? You always want to have the view up in your direction, because the view up has definitely saved me a lot from losses, so I'll definitely say that. But again, just trading the higher time frame direction, you know, making sure the 1 hour and the 15 minutes are all in the same direction as the higher time frame, and then again making sure the view up is in the correct spot, and then finding a great entry setup on the 5 minutes. That's all this trade was. Nothing really much, not complicated. Do this every day, back to back. That's pretty much all I have on this video. And if you guys would love to catch the same setups as me, make sure to check my Discord, join the Discord. And if you're a new customer, make sure to use the coupon NEW to save you a big discount off. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.